Okay, so we're going to cover Ultimate Marvel Team Up number 10. Just one single issue. Now, this one is actually very important because this gives us Ultimate Lizard and also gives us Ultimate Man-Thing as well. Now, when it comes to Ultimate Marvel Team Up, remember, when they created this series, it came right after the first story arc of Ultimate Spider-Man, because with Ultimate Spider-Man, we got the creation of the Ultimate Marvel Universe. And so they used Ultimate Marvel Team Up as a way to kind of explore this brand new universe that they had created in the early 2000s. And so you have Spider-Man meet all kinds of new characters. Iron Man, Hulk, Wolverine, the Punisher, Daredevil. Now the only one so far we covered is not technically canon, is Ultimate Fantastic Four issue number 9. Now issue number 10 is very important, and the reason why, because it gives us Ultimate Lizard and also Ultimate Man-Thing, but he only appears for like a brief moment and then he disappears. Technically, this is the origin of Ultimate Lizard. And this one does get referenced a few times in the main Ultimate Spider-Man series. Matter of fact, it does get referenced in the Ultimate Carnage storyline. Either way, as we dive into today's video or today's storyline, we do pick up with two guys who are currently robbing some random lady. They took her purse. Now, of course, they realize that they most likely won't get that far on foot. And so their bright idea is to go in the sewers as a way to get away from the cops. Now, one of the guys is technically scared to go down there, and the reason why, because he has heard about the idea there is some kind of monster down there in the sewers. Now his partner's kind of like, dude, it's all make-believe, just go ahead and come down here with me. Now this kind of shows the early days of Ultimate Marvel, because with Spider-Man appearing, that was when you had all these different kind of characters popping up left and right. And so to the public, this was still a regular peaceful world. Not the idea where it's like, oh my god, we have superheroes everywhere. Either way, when it came to his partner, as soon as he gets into the sewers, he is grabbed and killed off by the Lizard. And so this leads us into the actual origin of Curt Connors. Now here's the thing, Ultimate Curt Connors is very similar in some areas to his main Marvel Universe counterpart. And really, later on, we'll see some big changes in the character in later books in Ultimate Marvel Universe. But for right now, it's kind of like, oh, he's very similar to his counterpart, it's just a tad bit different here and there. And so we do see that Curt Connors was somebody who was trying to find a way to regrow his lost arm, very similar to his main Marvel Universe counterpart. Now here's the thing, because he's also trying to help other people who may have lost body parts as well, lost limbs. And he realized that lizard DNA could possibly help him and other people regrow their lost limbs, because again, lizards are able to regrow their lost limbs. Now when it comes to Curt Connors, he was working out of a university and he had a lot of interns kind of helping him out with this project. Here's the thing, because he did get a visit from the dean, and when it comes to the dean, unfortunately, he tells Curt Connors their funding has been pulled because the university is not doing as well as it used to be. And so now they have to make some cuts. Unfortunately, those cuts had to be Curt Connors' project. Now this breaks Curt Connors' heart so much. But the thing is, the dean tells us that it's been 5, almost 6 years since Curt Connors has been working on this project. And he only got to phase 6. Well, almost got to phase 6. But the problem is they need to get to phase 7. Which of course is testing it on humans. But unfortunately now, it may seem he will never be able to achieve that goal. And so of course, it breaks his heart and he begins to drink. Now we have all the interns about to leave. They realize that Curt Connors is in his office as a broken man who just lost his dream goal. And so now, because he's drunk and not thinking straight, he says, we're gonna do phase 7 right now. We're gonna test it on myself. Now, most of the interns, they laugh. They're like, nah, bruh, we are not down with this at all. except one of them. One stays, and she says she watched what happened to Curt Connors. He basically injected the chemical into his body. He did regrow his lost arm, but then slowly he began to change into the Lizard. Now she passed out, but apparently Curt Connors had disappeared. But that is when we pick up with Spider-Man. Now, you do have Peter Parker tell us that this takes place after, I want to say, the second story arc, but also after he told Mary Jane that he is Spider-Man. Because currently in this storyline, she's away right now for some kind of trip with her parents. And so it's just him kind of writing a letter or emailing her and telling her what's currently going on in New York City with his spider life. And of course, he tells her that he is going to go after the Lizard. And so you do have Spider-Man go into the sewers. Now, the only reason why he knew to go down there because he also heard the rumors about the idea that there's some kind of monster in the sewers who's going around killing off different people left and right. And so, of course, he realized that he needed to be a hero and go down into the sewers to figure out if there is some kind of monster down there. And of course, he finds the Lizard. Now, he tells us right off the bat that by this point in the Ultimate Marvel universe, he fought against Green Goblin, Kingpin, Electro, and matter of fact, if we count the Ultimate Marvel team-up books that we have covered so far, you can count in Sabretooth, the Mandroids, Hulk, and the list goes on. Heck, even the Punisher as well. Either way, when it comes to the Lizard, this is somewhat new because when it comes to the Lizard, he's not thinking like those other characters think like. He's thinking more of like an animal that just wants to feed on people. He's a wild beast. And so for Spider-Man, this is a new kind of enemy. And so they do fight for a few pages, but unfortunately, Peter Parker is having a hard time fighting against the Lizard. But that is when he is saved by Man-Thing. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to Man-Thing in the Ultimate Marvel universe, we don't know much about him. Really, this is the only time he does something for Spider-Man or really anybody in the Ultimate Marvel universe, because the other 3 times he does appear, he is literally just in a cameo part, and that's really it. Now, we are told at the very beginning who is Man-Thing in the Ultimate Marvel universe, and really it's more about the idea that he was a scientist known as Ted Sallis, who was forced to inject himself with an untested serum that he had created as a way to protect it from enemies who were trying to steal it. But the problem was, it was untested, and so of course it changed him into a mindless creature that's made of swamp and sewer matter, and now that's really it. I mean, he does have some crazy powers, but unfortunately we're not told what those powers do in the Ultimate Marvel universe. And really, when it comes to him helping out Spider-Man, he shows us one of those random powers that he has where he is able to turn the Lizard back into Curt Connors, a regular man. And that's it. Like literally, that is how Spider-Man was able to get Curt Connors back into Curt Connors. But really, it wasn't because of Spider-Man, it was because of Man-Thing. Either way, the day is saved. And really, the story kind of ends at a very fast pace. And what I mean by that is, you do have Spider-Man writing down what he wanted to tell Mary Jane in this letter or possibly email about him fighting against the Lizard. But because she already knows that 1, he is Spider-Man, and 2, he feels like it would be better for him to go ahead and tell her in person. And when it comes to Curt Connors, well, unfortunately, he leaves a letter behind for his wife to find, to tell his wife that he is not coming back until he is able to figure out what in the world went wrong with his Lizard serum, but to also make sure that he does not change back into the Lizard and have the possibility of hurting her, but also their son. And so really, that is the end for Ultimate Marvel Team Up number 10. So please, leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.